O Mother Nui, stretch high above this valley. Your starry body is our glory. Then see the hawk of yonder Rahur quit, his fiery splendor, oh so mighty. He brings a light for all our weary souls. He makes the broken spirit whole.
Imagine, locking yourself in a room for 18 months. No friends, no entertainment, just fasting every single day.
Yeah, just you and your thoughts.
Right, and all to make contact with a single angel. For centuries, that was basically the price of admission for ultimate magical power.
A very steep price.
Exactly. But what if you could bypass all that madness and achieve it on, a Tuesday afternoon during your commute? Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we are doing a deep dive into a massive research report on Damon Brand's book, Magical Destiny.
Specifically, we're zooming in on Protocol 7.
Right, which is the system that claims to bypass years of grueling occult rituals so you can, safely attain co-creative manifestation with the Holy Guardian Angel.
Because historically, making that connection meant attempting the Abramelin operation. You literally had to dismantle your mundane life.
Which sounds intense.
Oh, it was. The extreme asceticism and isolation were meant to force the mind into alignment through total sensory deprivation. But, the psychological toll was so massive that occultists literally call the resulting break with reality Abramelin madness.
Abramelin madness. Yeah. Wow, so you're driving yourself to the brink just to get this angel on the line. And just to clarify for everyone listening, when we say Holy Guardian Angel or HGA, are we talking about a literal guy with wings, or is this more of a psychological concept, like a higher self?
Well, what's fascinating here is that the source material treats it as both. It's an external intelligence, but it also represents your absolute highest potential.
Okay, got it.
But unlike the old Abramelin method, Brand's system integrates right into your normal life. He throws out the ceremonial robes, the wands, the fasting.
Which makes me wonder, does stripping away all that difficult theatrical work dilute the actual magic? If the old rituals were like training wheels, just taking them off just guarantee you're going to crash.
It's actually exactly the opposite. The text posits that complex rituals are essentially just psychological scaffolding.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, taking the training wheels off forces you to internalize the balance. Because you no longer have those physical rituals to rely on, the burden shifts entirely to your mind. It requires a much deeper level of emotional alignment and focus.
That actually makes sense. And it brings us to the architecture of the system. I see in the notes here that you first go through 6 preliminary protocols to, quote, rewire your consciousness. What does that actually entail?
Basically, the first 6 protocols systematically strip away your ego and superficial desires so you can hear what occultists call your true will.
Which isn't just your daily whim, right?
Exactly. It's your ultimate life purpose. Once those channels are clear, you reach Protocol 7, the moment of decision. You supposedly manifest at will simply by deciding what you want and letting the HGA execute it.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. The source explicitly warns against trying to manifest something trivial, like a pair of striped socks, just to test if the magic is real, which is pretty funny. Imagine risking Abramelin madness over striped socks.
Yeah. Definitely not worth it.
But practically, how does this invisible entity know the difference between a real need, like wanting light traffic on my commute, and a test?
It comes down to cognitive dissonance. When you test a system just to see if it works, your brain is inherently in a state of skepticism.
You're observing, not participating.
Right. And that cognitive friction blocks the absolute focus required for the manifestation to take hold. The HGA only responds to authentic lived needs. Ego-driven tests carry the energetic frequency of doubt, which inherently short-circuits the magic.
Wow. Okay, looking at the notes on Protocol 7, it describes this brutal psychological maneuver, a paradox of intent. How are you supposed to be absolutely convinced of success, but completely okay with failure?
This raises a really important question about human psychology. This paradox bypasses what occultists call lust for result. Which means...
Well, think about how this applies to your own goals. How often do you sabotage your own success because you're grasping too hard? That desperate, anxious energy creates immense psychic resistance.
Oh, absolutely.
So the system says you have to create empty time, like just staring at a wall or floating in a pool.
Wait, but how does doing nothing actually fix that? It sounds like a great excuse for laziness.
It's not about being lazy, it's about creating a psychological void. The system claims the angel needs that non-meditative downtime to actually alter reality, without your conscious ego interfering and micromanaging the process.
Oh, so it's like throwing a paper airplane. If you don't physically let go of it, it can never catch the air and fly.
That's perfect. Yes. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, that release points to the deepest secret of the entire system.
And what's that?
The true goal isn't actually the material manifestation you asked for. The real objective is communion with the angel itself.
Yeah, when you realize that merging with that divine reality is the true reward, your attachment to the material outcome completely dissolves. Paradoxically, that total surrender is what allows the manifestation to rush into your life.
So what does this all mean? It means this framework attempts to upgrade you from a desperate beggar standing at the gates of the divine into a sovereign co-creator of your own life.
It's a complete paradigm shift.
It really is. And it leaves us with a pretty provocative final thought for you to chew on today. If the ultimate key to instant manifestation is total surrender and detaching from the outcome, could it be that true magical mastery isn't about changing the universe, but finally realizing you no longer need to?